everybody, this is Rainbow Reviews. Today, I'm finally excited to talk about Season 2, Episode 1 of Primal. Now, if you haven't watched my last couple of videos on Primal, well, if you did watch them, you would know that I was very excited for the start of this season. I love Primal. It is seriously one of the best shows on television right now. You should really watch it if you haven't yet. But I'm just going to jump right into this review of Season 2, Episode 1. So, when we last left off with the series, the Season 1 finale, let's see, Spear had just gone totally ape crazy and killed a bunch of ape men, and Fang was, we didn't even know if he was, like, alive. I mean, it was, like, left in the dark before we even knew there was a Season 2. He could have been, like, dead. We had no idea. But, I'm really glad to see that this episode picks up right where that left off. It answers almost immediately that Fang is alive, thank goodness. And I really like how it just kind of slowly transitions into the new story. That is actually one of my critiques with this episode. My only gripe with this first episode is that the beginning is a little slow. Now, those of you who watch this episode probably know what I'm talking about. It takes a lot, not most of, but a good chunk of the episode for them to wrap up the story of getting Fang out of that arena. But, it's just a small gripe, small nitpick. It's not a big deal. I still really like that build-up. I guess it does work for getting you back into the character dynamics, because in that time that you spend at the arena at the beginning, even though it does take a long time, it does get you back into the groove of the show and the whole feel of it. The show can take its time, and I'm going to give it all the time it needs because it really deserves it. But other than that first part, the slow burn of the episode is nice. Now, the episode is called Scent of Prey. So Fang at this point is basically incapacitated for most of the episode, can't even stand up, barely open his eyes. So he's prey for other predators. And in true primal fashion, there's predators lurking around every corner, and it's a brutal world of cavemen and dinosaurs. And that's what I love about this first episode of the season. It reminds you of this chaotic world these characters are in. And the slow burn of Fang slowly healing, and the enemies that Spear is trying to ward off from Fang is getting increasingly more there and apparent and dangerous. And that created a really nice pace to the episode after they got out of that arena part. And it's overall a really great start to the season. I really liked how at the end, because you guys remember at the end of the first episode of season 1, how awesome it was, the ending, when you saw Spear riding Fang. Oh yeah, this is what the whole season's going to be about. I cannot wait to see this. This episode ends with them working together again in perfect harmony. Now, there is one thing I do want to bring up with this next season. What I really hope that Tartakovsky has done with this new season is he doesn't stop building on those character relationships. Because those of you who have seen the show, you know that season 1 was all about building the character relationship between Spear and Fang. It didn't always work out at first. In season 1, episode 2, River of Snakes, they had problems where they were hunting differently and who gets more food and who's in control. And I really like that episode because it gets down to the character studies. This is a show where none of the characters talk, so you have to have the characters doing something that it gives them a relationship with each other to build off of, purely through visuals and little grunts and roars and whatever and situations. So I really hope that Tartakovsky continues to develop their character relationships in this season by maybe making them go backpedal a bit on their relationship. They stumble into a new problem and a new species divide that they have to overcome. Because I think if they don't do that this season, the character relationships can become a little bit stagnant, and I'm just afraid that they're going to put too much focus on the story. Because what we've seen from the season 2 trailer is that they might be getting into the supernatural aspect of this caveman time. And I'm okay with that, but I feel like I don't want them to focus too much on the story so much, and I really want it to be like character driven, because that's what made season one so great. Again, that's what I really hope that this season is going to do. But I have a lot of faith in the creators of this show. The next episode is the infected sourpod episode. Now I know this episode is like already out online, or at least clips of it are. I have not watched any of that stuff yet because I don't want it to be spoiled for me. But it looks awesome. I've seen people say that this new episode that they're gonna be having next week is so gritty, and there's like twists and turns in every corner, and I'm so excited because you know what? We all need an escape from everything this year. Just getting real for a second. We all need an escape this year from 2020. And Primal, if you haven't watched it, there's only 6 episodes out right now, all on HBO Max. You could probably find it on YouTube or even like clips on YouTube, because you don't need to watch the whole thing, although I would recommend it, even being there for the slow parts of the seasons. But Primal is just one of those shows that you can always go back to and always just have a good time with it. There's no character dialogue. You're just watching them interact with each other and their relationship and how it's building. Basically, what I'm getting at is if you are really looking for something to distract yourself from this crap year we've had so far, Primal is a great way to distract yourself. I've really been feeling it recently, and this new episode, it's get me back in the groove, baby. So I am really excited for this season of Primal. If you haven't watched Primal, first of all, why are you clicking on this video? But views are always appreciated. But you should watch it if you haven't yet. It is a great distraction from all of this crap year that we're getting. So yeah, you should watch Primal, and thanks for watching.